Thanks for joining me as I travel the world, going from fine dining through to street food and local specialties, all in an effort to find the world's best seafood. Hi folks, and welcome back for a long overdue episode of World's Best Seafood in perhaps the most mundane location with the worst lighting. But I'm currently in Phuket, Thailand. It's a long story, but I'm on my way home to Hong Kong, had to come via Thailand. There's a local street market nearby that doesn't look like much, but when you get in there, there's actually all kinds of different foods. I gave myself a few days to get my stomach customized to the local food before eating from markets. Had grilled fish from there yesterday. The staff were really rude, but the food was good. The price was good, so I went back today for something even nicer. So, let me show you what I have. In box number 1 is a medium-sized grilled lobster. Now I saw that they kind of boil it first, then grill it. It's not over charcoal, but hopefully it's got some decent flavor to it. Then a gigantic shrimp, which is deep fried and with garlic butter. So if you see them side by side for comparison, the shrimp is probably got 50% the amount of meat as the lobster. And then a simple chicken fried rice. Nothing fancy there. Now this is a fairly epic dinner. I've been eating very basically since I've been here. Decided to treat myself tonight, but still this whole meal is about $40 US. The fried rice was like $2.50. The shrimp and the lobster together came in at just under $40 US, so about $42, $43 with the Coke. So, let's have a little taste test. Actually, I've cleaned my hands, I've done all of that. Oh, and why I'm not eating at the market. Again, long story short, but I need to get back to Hong Kong, and that means lots and lots of COVID tests. I'm traveling alone anyway, so I'm not taking any risks. Okay, let's try this lobster. So you see what I mean? Even a big lobster, that's basically half the meat out of it. It's not super meaty. Well, I got to say it's nice and tender. The texture's good. The flavor's good. I know the fresh police will say if you didn't see it pulled out of the ocean, it's not fresh. It was still moving in the ice, however. It tastes fine. For their way of cooking, I would say they've done a really good job to kind of poach it first and then grill it. I just would really love to have much more of the grilled flavor, and you can't beat charcoal for that. Gone are the days where my drinks bill for the meal was half the price of the full meal. I actually quit drinking more than 6 months ago now. Let's try the fried rice. Can't go too wrong. It's actually really good. I never order hotel food, but seeing I had to quarantine here until I got my test results, I did have a couple of meals here. As you would expect, overpriced. And not nearly as tasty as that, and about half the size. So I'd say it was 4 times the price, half the size, and half the flavor. I'm glad I got this as a carb/veggie dish. The only thing I would say, the spicy sauce it's quite Thai. I remember seeing at a restaurant in America, you know, where they have the 1 chili, 2 chili, 3 chili for how spicy something is going to be, and I think it was Mexican was 1, so Mexican spicy, Indian spicy, Thai spicy. That I think is a bit too much. I don't mind the amount of spice for it, actually. I might have some on the rice, but I think it's a bit too much spice for the lobster, but I actually still have the sauce that came with my fish last night, so let's grab that guy. It's kind of just like a homemade sweet Thai chili sauce. And that's what's left of my fish from last night, which was actually beautifully charred. And if I can fit it in, I should probably actually finish that tonight so it's not 2 days old. Next, let's try this gigantic shrimp. I'll be honest, if I wasn't filming, I would have my t-shirt off because I don't want to get this all over this white t-shirt. It's one of the last clean things I have. Okay. So interesting. I normally wouldn't order this kind of thing deep fried. I actually thought it might be grilled as well. But the sauce on it is fantastic. It doesn't taste overly oily. But the shrimp is actually a bit overcooked, unfortunately. And yesterday's fish, that may look like it's actually all burnt. They actually put like a layer of salt on the skin and then grill it, which allows it to grill for longer. The meat inside was actually, if I was in a place where I knew my stomach was acclimatized or that it was a totally clean kitchen, perfect, like 10% under. For street food, probably a little under than I would normally go for, but I didn't have any problem the next day and it was just delicious. And for the record, the whole fish was like this big and I couldn't finish just the fish in one sitting, and it was half the price of one prawn. So gives you an idea of how cheap fish are here. I think tomorrow I'll probably go back for another one. I want to qualify, most of the staff at that restaurant were actually really lovely, but there's just one guy who seemed really standoffy and argumentative, and he tried to overcharge me, and then I called him on it. It was meant to be 300 baht. No, sorry, it was meant to be 250 baht. Then he tried to tell me it was 300. Then I said, no, the menu says 250. He said, okay, 250. Then I gave him 260, and then he just stood there and wouldn't give me my change. And I know 10 baht is nothing, it's 30 cents. But in that case, it was just the principle, because he'd been quite rude through the whole process as well. So the other guy who served me today was really nice, and both of the cooks are lovely. So I'm happy to go back again, just not speak to him. Not a whole lot of meat in the head, kind of the spiny lobster style. But I'll get into those horns and everything to get all the meat out once I have my shirt off, because meat's going to fly everywhere. I might actually eat it out on the balcony. Glad I remember this fish is there. I would hate to have let it go to waste. Rather save the fried rice for breakfast tomorrow if I'm full. Okay, so I'm filthy already. Time to wash my hands, wash my face, take my shirt off, and finish this beast of a meal. Sorry for the delay between videos. My other channels take up a lot of time. I'm also a full-time professional photographer, so that takes up a lot of my time. But after this, I'm heading to Bangkok, so if you have any suggestions of restaurants that I should try that deliver, please let me know, and I'll try and get some things sent to my hotel there to bring you along for a very casual, informal, and messy seat at the table for my continuing search for the world's best seafood. Ciao, guys. Thanks for joining me as I travel the world, going from fine dining through to street food and local specialties, all in an effort to find the world's best seafood.